Hello, you're tuned in to a special interview brought to you by Ieta Youth Cooperative. My name is Serena Mali, host for this special interview. Our topic is Black Rock Investment Giant and Zambia's Debt. Our guest for this amazing interview is no other than Ms. Saboi Imboela, who is the president of the National Democratic Congress Party. Hello, Ms. Saboi.
Hi, how are you, Serena?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Amazing. So, would you mind telling us a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Okay, I am the president of the National Democratic Congress Party, like you have said. I'm an activist as well, so I'm a person that has actually been involved in a lot of activism, politics, art, and just many things like that.
Okay, that's amazing. You're quite involved a lot in the political space. What would you say your political views are in terms of debt investments? Just before we get to the main topic of Black Rock Investment Company.
Well, first and foremost, I think debt is meant to enslave us. Debt was never meant to develop anybody, and there's no country that has really developed based on debt, so the more we borrow, the more we become enslaved.
Okay.
This also is true at a personal level. We know that when people borrow so much, they become incapacitated in many ways. You find that even when you want to buy something, you want to take yourself for a holiday or whatever, the first thing you have to think of is your debt. Yeah, so it's the same with countries.
Exactly. I mean, that's an easier way of looking at it, and I love the description that you've given. But let's get right to it, right? So 70% of Zambia's debt is held by Western institutions. 220 million US dollars is held by investment giant BlackRock. Now, BlackRock Inc. is an American multinational investment company based in New York City in the United States of America. So this is BlackRock. This is what they do. They're a big investment giant located in the United States of America. Currently, what is going around TikTok, right, which is a social media app, very widely used app, especially in Zambia. And what is going around currently is videos of American citizens protesting in America at the BlackRock company about the debt, right, that Zambia has involving BlackRock themselves. Now, Mr. Boy, how much do you know about this? What are your views on that? And basically, what information have you been getting about the topic?
Okay. I first saw, I think, the first video that was that went viral, I think some 2-3 days ago. And what really impressed me and shocked me at the first glance was just how people are able to care about us so much that before even Zambians protest, the people out there are protesting on our behalf. And like they are saying, the debt is choking us. We're such a poor country. We need the cancellation of the debt so that we're able to invest our money in other things, And also, sometimes just the unfairness of the debt. You find that even when you get the debt in terms of the conditionalities of the debt, the enslaving part of the debt is what normally angers even people in the Western world. I know that there have been people, even just from the IMF and World Bank, who have resigned their jobs because of how unfair the debt has been to African countries. And to see what is going on in America right now, where people are demonstrating and saying Zambia's debt has to be cancelled, I think it's very good. And that is why even when you called for this interview, I was very, very happy, because I was thinking, okay, finally somebody's doing something back home, because that's what we need to do.
Exactly.
When they're out there, when they're out there demonstrating, even us here on the Zambian soil, we need to show that really we are concerned about this and we want this debt cancelled. So it's a very, very good thing that we're actually talking about this right now.
Quite interesting indeed, because the people that are protesting are activists in America, from organizations such as People's Forum, Friends of Swazi Freedom, and many other organizations, right? And these people are protesting outside the global headquarters of BlackRock company. So what they believe is that this is a huge investment company involved in so many things, by the way, which I will not begin to mention. But basically, BlackRock is worth 10 trillion US dollars.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And the activists believe that they could easily cancel out Zambia's debt, but they don't want to, because they want to enslave us.
Exactly.
That is what those activists are saying. So it just got my mind thinking as to what you've said. And I feel to some extent, indeed, it could be a mode of enslaving someone. I mean, Zambia already has about 70% of its debt from other Western institutions.
Exactly.
So let's hit the nail on the head, right? What would you say about the fact that not many Zambians themselves are talking about this?
Okay. Sometimes, it's just the information, like they say, information is power. Even our Lord says, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. So
Yeah.
when you give the people the information, I think it's going to be very, very easy for people to actually come out and demonstrate. There's what they call new constitutionalism, by the way. New constitutionalism is a way that the people that give us money, be it countries or institutions, actually lock us down.
Okay.
We have contracts that we have signed as African countries that the people don't even know. So this lockdown is in such a way that when you sign the debt, our children and their children will be tied down to certain conditionalities, to certain debts, that we are getting or which our fathers got. So we need to fight the new constitutionalism, and for me, when I looked at the Black Rock debt, for example, it just got me thinking to all those levels to say, what exactly are we doing, as Africans to ensure that we develop our countries and also try to run away from this debt as much as possible. Because in as much as we're calling for the debt cancellation, after this, we need to make sure that as much as possible we don't borrow. Zambia is a very, very rich country. We have a lot of gold in this country. We have lithium, we have copper, we have basically a lot of minerals. So it doesn't make sense that every time we want to do something, we have to go out there and borrow money. It just does not make sense. So we need to have that mindset shift, which clearly says, okay, this is the way we're going to go.
Yeah.
We need to eradicate poverty in Africa using our own resources, and that is very, very possible.
No, quite true. I love how you've brought up that aspect, because we all need to look at it from that point of view. We have so many resources as a country, and funny enough, the activists that are protesting for us actually saying the same thing, but most of us ourselves as Zambians are not saying that. We're not saying we have the resources.
Exactly.
Why do we keep accumulating so much debt? That is the question, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the amount is quite big, 220 million US dollars, as I mentioned in the
goodness,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get your thoughts on that. I mean, considering the debt restructuring that happened quite recently, I would say, we would still consider it fresh news, right? With the IMF and World Bank, which is good for the country. People are rejoicing. Fresh start, new opportunity. Let's see where we're going. But then, do you really feel something is going to come out of people protesting for the debt to be cancelled?
Yeah, something should come out of this. The last time people demonstrated for our countries, I think we did have the HIPIC, that is a highly indebted poor countries, debt being cancelled. So we were told to reach this HIPIC completion point, and we did that, and our debt was cancelled. And the benefits we're seeing, that was during the Manawasa presidency. The benefits there and then were seen of not having such a huge debt that we're paying. And in as much as the 220 million, by the way, looks to be so big, it's actually not even so big. I'll give a very funny example on the Zambian soil, but out there I think it's just a normal example, because I've seen most times when I bring art into examples, people are like, no, why are you saying that? But you know that the last tour that Beyonce had, she made $250 million. Okay, so which is like 30 million more than the debt we're talking about.
Indeed.
She made it just from touring the world. Right now Beyonce is doing her Renaissance tour. Trust me, she's going to make more than that. Maybe she's going to go to $500 million.
Yeah.
You get the point. So in Zambia, again, we have boxed ourselves in terms of how we think. So in terms of the money and how we can make money, we just have this one track kind of thinking. You get the point. So if we bring in our art, our sports, our minerals, our agriculture, trust me, this whole thing can be sorted out in no time. I have been talking of the fact that agriculture, for example, is a new gold. Zambia, as a country, sits on 40% water of the entire Southern African region. And that is good water bodies. So just 40% of that means that we can have agriculture almost all year. But we're failing to do that. We've got good arable land, We are failing to do all those things because we are thinking, okay, the only way we can do all this and that, maybe we sell copper, we do this, we do, and that's it. The gold which is being mined in this country, most of it is being done so illegally. The sugilites, the lithium, all of this, and the government is not paying the right kind of attention to this, and also to the other sectors of our economy. I talked about art and sports and all these others. Technology, for example, you can't make money if you're not inventing things. The whole reason why other countries are able to make so much money is because they're creative, they're innovative. So when you bring something new on the world market, you find that you're able to make so much money from that. But because Zambia, we're always wanting to be on the receiving end, it becomes very, very problematic in terms of the way that we make money as a country, and so it always lands us into all this debt.
Indeed. Let's step back a little bit and look at it from someone out there who's obviously watching this. I feel the question on most people's minds, looking at the political setup, there's a lot going on currently most of the time, but then there is a lot going on. You being in the political space, I would like to ask you, do you feel it's okay to politicize issues of debt restructuring?
Certainly not. Certainly not. It's not good always politicize issues of development in general. So debt restructuring definitely being one of them. But there's a whole issue right now in the country of the government not wanting to tell us what they're doing. Okay, already we're complaining about this debt that we're having, and I talked earlier on about new constitutionalism, where you are seated and the countries, the leaders in the countries are tying you down to things that you don't even know. The government has been signing a lot of contracts which have a non-disclosure clause, so they're not telling us. At the end of the day, most of this debt should actually be acquired with the consent of Parliament, but you find that Parliament does not even know what is happening. So if Parliament does not even know what is happening, it means the people of Zambia don't know what is happening. So they go out there, they sign these debts, and I don't know why the non-disclosure clauses are there, because they know to say the things which are there are things which Zambians won't like, We are not going to like some of the conditionalities that are being given. So with that, I think we should just keep on advocating, even what is this? The freedom, the access to freedom information. Yes, the bill. We have to keep on talking about that, so that we should have access to information as Zambians, because these are things which have been going on for a very long time. When journalists, for example, have been saying we need access to information, and as long as they're not giving us that, you find that even simple things like debt acquisition, they're failing to give us that. Even the debt restructuring itself. What conditions exactly are there? We need the fine print of what exactly they signed even for the restructuring. Once they give us all that, then we can sit down and say, oh, okay, this is what is on the table. But however, because the government doesn't want to tell us the truth, we find that they don't tell us. And when people start questioning, they call that politics, but it's not. It's not actually. They need to disclose to the public what exactly they're tying us down to.
Okay. Okay. Let's get to the involvement of citizens in current affairs. This is a matter that I feel should be trending locally, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel people just aren't as involved in current affairs? Like maybe let's specialize it to certain groups of people, perhaps the youth. So why is this just coming up now? Is it a problem of the people? Is it a problem of the government? Because I will point out that this has been going on for some time now, but coincidentally it's only blowing up now. That is the question in my mind, and other people that know about this. Funny enough, I spoke to someone earlier today, and they didn't even know what's going on. They said, Black, what's that? What's that? And I was like, oh, quite interesting. People don't know about this. So where is the problem? What is the gap?
The gap for me, I think it's the media that we're using. Every time you have to take out a message out there to the public, you have to segregate your audience. You need to know to say, if I'm going to reach people that are over, let's say 40, 50, what media am I using? Am I using mainstream media? Exactly. Am I using this or that? So you handle that. And for the youth, what media am I using? Social media. You find that even watching of news, the youth actually watch maybe a news channel on their Facebook pages. So once we are deliberate, with that, and ensure that we reach the youth in their space, I think that would be okay. These are videos which are going on, so meaning that we have to share them so much on Facebook, we need to share them so much on WhatsApp, and we need to share them so much on TikTok. Once we do that, then we are going to reach them. So meaning that the way the videos are coming in from the Western countries, even our responses as Zambians right now, we need to be aware the youth are. And for me also, I'd love a situation whereby apart from interviewing people like myself who are naturally politicians.
Okay.
I think even those people that are not politicians, if you can tackle also the youth, you go on the streets and you find out what exactly they're thinking about. So when you start asking them, then that's when they begin to know. Like you said, you're talking to somebody who didn't know.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. So you tackle that, and also when those people now are brought into the media, you find that the messaging is going to definitely reach as many people as possible.
Definitely. Sensitization could be the word. Awareness.
Certainly.
Does it get into certain groups of people? For example, people in compounds, people with language barriers, people that are impaired, right? Are we getting such information out to them? Because we all need to know if people can contribute in one way or another to bringing this to an end, then I feel it should be done. Because that is a serious issue. I mean, in 2021, Zambia was putting out a lot of public funds towards repaying debt. Still didn't get us quite far, to be honest. I mean, to some extent, but then we need more, right? So I would like to get your closing remarks. We have come to the end of this interview. It's been amazing getting your views on the topic. What would be your closing remarks, basically on the topic of BlackRock Investment Company and how you feel this is going to turn up?
First and foremost, I think when they continue demonstrating, we continue talking, you know, this advocacy which is going on, I think it's going to be very good. And all the time, advocacy should go along with sensitization. So advocating to the powers that be so that they change the rules and the policies which are there. And then also the people, we sensitize them so that we gain that critical mass that we are looking for. You know, and for me also, other organizations just coming in, you know, Equal Trade Alliance, for example, if organizations like that would come in and you know, also advocate for that, because I've seen that they also want eradication of poverty in Africa. You know, so the kind of sensitization that we keep on doing right now, I think is going to be very, very good. You know, so we should keep on talking, because this is our country, and really, these are our problems, and if we don't talk about them, they'll continue being with us. You know, so we do have a right and chance to make a difference by just talking the way that we're doing right now.
Amazing, lovely. Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been tuned in to this amazing interview with Ms. Saboi Imboela. My name is Serena Mwale. I'm the co-president of IETA Youth Cooperative. IETA Youth Cooperative is an organization that is composed of two cooperatives, and this is Inshila Momana and Equal Trade Alliance. We are focused on promoting culture and reviving cultural heritage, and Equal Trade Alliance is an international organization whose main aim, like Ms. Saboi has rightly put it, is eradicating poverty in Africa through trade. Thank you for joining us, and bye-bye for now.